Hello everyone, I'm Phoenix Tremaine. Today I'm going to be talking about Shining Vale Episode 4, So Much Blood. But first, if you haven't done so, please take a minute to subscribe. If you have subscribed, thank you very much. I'd appreciate it. Please hit that like button so YouTube knows it's a good channel for soap fans. I mean, not soap fans, but for my reviews, I'm so used to my other channel, which if you do like soaps or dramas, you'll see in the description box a link to that, where I'm close to 30K over there. And so if you like that, please subscribe to that channel. This channel is reviews, entertainment news, and just different things that I feel like we should be talking about. And the review part of it is Shining Vale, starring Courtney Cox, Greg Kinnear, and Mia Sorvino. We're now on episode 4. I'll put links at the end of the episode for the video I did for episodes 1 and 2, and the video I just did for episode 3, and now I'm on 4. And the show really just keeps getting better. If you saw my first review, I was not impressed by episode 1 and 2. I thought 3 got better, and now we're on 4, and I think 4 is the best episode so far. So I think they're starting to really give us what we want now that they're really getting to the possession part of the story. And we saw I've been asking for Judith Lights, I know she's on the show, and we saw in the previews for episode 5 that Judith Light will be in that episode playing Courtney Cox's character, Pat's mother. So we start off by seeing Rosemary possessing Pat and cursing out Terry for interrupting her writing. Clearly, based on her attitude, that this is Rosemary, not Pat. We then see in the mirror that Pat's ghost in the mirror, and we realize that's that's Rosemary, the ghost. And she turns back into Pat, and she says something nice to him. So it's sort of like, okay, so now Rosemary's really being able to take it over, because when Rosemary took over before, we never saw what she did while she was possessed. We saw after effects of what happened when they were possessed. Now we actually got to see her possessed. We then get a disrespectful mother-daughter back and forth. I'm not here for it. Maybe it's because I was raised to be very respectful to my mother, that I couldn't even conceive the idea of saying some of the things to my mother that this girl says to hers. And I know what happens in real life, that I know people who are disrespectful to their mother, and they have their reasons why. But her mother having an affair with her father, that's grown folks' business. She ain't got nothing to do with that. So the mother basically telling her, she's a hoe, and the daughter is telling her, well, you a hoe too? Essentially, I'm just paraphrasing. It's not fun for me to watch. So I'm glad that they really minimize the kid scenes. Cam tells Pat that the higher-ups love her book pages, and she's getting another advance that's bigger. Cam mentions that Pat self-sabotages when things are going well. And I can understand that, because there was a time where I used to self-sabotage too. I definitely check myself to make sure that, I'm not doing it in the present. But there was a time where things were just going so wrong that when something right happens, you almost feel like, this ain't gonna last, when's it gonna end? You sort of like do things that are self-sabotaging, and then you just realize, like, holy crap, why did I do that? And for me, anybody out there who does it as well, I used to just say, when I would think about doing something that could be counterproductive to what I overall want to do, and my mind is going to sabotage. As sort of like that I put that as my subconscious, where I would just say sabotage, and I'm like, oh, I can't go there. No, I need to stay on the right path. It's like being on Wizard of Oz. I'm on a yellow brick road, and you MFers is trying to get me to go over here in the woods somewhere. I'm too old for that. Then she gets a call that her son got caught with a porn magazine. We then see the worst father and son talk, where the father he's cool with it, which is fine. When I was that age, there were just stacks of porn magazines in the basement. Um, you know, I looked, whatever. But it wasn't made into like a big deal. Of course, I did on the low, all that Hustler and Penthouse and Playboy. I just read on the low, then, went back up my business. Worse father and son talk because the friends were coming, and the son's like, Dad, here, my friends are coming. Put that magazine down. Meanwhile, he's just holding up the centerfold, embarrassing his son, while he's praising this woman in a way. Well, actually, he wasn't praising her because he was talking about women don't have bushes like that anymore, and which honestly just depends on the woman. um, Terry catches Pat drinking while she's in the bath, and he's upset because he became sober when she became sober, as a form of solidarity. He's like, well, and she's like, look, I didn't go to AA or anything. I just realized I need to stop drinking. So now I've decided, like, I drink every once in a while. I'm fine with it. So he's like, well, now I can drink too. Pat continues to write her book. It's about Rosemary. She didn't realize this whole time she was writing about Rosemary. Gaynor throws herself at the guy that she likes, and he shoots her down, focusing on his faith versus sex. Pat contacts her psychiatrist, and Rosemary keeps trying to kill herself. As she's writing the book, the character Rosemary keeps trying to commit suicide, so Pat asks for a refill of her prescription, and he tells her that she's in control, not Rosemary, because technically Rosemary's just supposed to be this muse, which is what he had said before. Terry goes to a meeting, and now that Pat is drinking, he decides to drink as well, and he goes too far. We'll go back to that. Pat makes Rosemary in her book masturbate and feel good, but the real Rosemary screams and smashes her hand against the mirror in the fantasy, cutting herself, making Pat do the same, cutting herself on the computer screen. Terry gets drunk and gives the bartender a note to give his boss, to tell him that he quit because his boss kept talking bad about his wife, saying ever since his wife came into his life, she's been a screw up, and it's just been bringing his numbers down, and that, then he's like, what are you talking about? My wife's not a screw up. And so he starts getting really angry, which is why he decides he's going to quit. Gaynor gets another warning, this time from a woman in an elderly home. She warns her that she will kill her and she needs to get out of the house. So my complaint all 3 episodes is people keep warning about what's going on in the house. They keep acknowledging that something is going on in the house, but nobody's listening to anyone or relaying information back and forth about the ghosts, the history, all that. So that's kind of annoying. I'd rather not do it if they're not going to actually have the characters follow up on it. Terry quits his job because his boss tells him once again that his wife is a hot mess. We get a moment. Well, let me go back because I didn't write this note in there. But what happens is Terry calls his wife, tells her that he quit. She's like, why'd you quit? He's like, because my boss said you were a screw up. And she said, because I am a screw up. What are you doing? I'm over here with writer's block, and, I may not be making the money I thought I was going to make. We need that money. So then he grabs the note before the boss can see it, and then the boss talks bad about his wife again, and so he quits anyway, which was stupid. We get a moment with the son where he's in the treehouse, which is revealed to be Daisy's treehouse. We kind of learned that last episode, so it wasn't a big revelation. A movie projector comes on in the basement and reveals to Pat that Rosemary was a real person, not a muse. And so it is with Pat going, she's real. So in the preview for next week, she's seeing somebody talking about now she's referring to Rosemary as a ghost, not as a muse. She knows it's ghost now. So now Let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think the episodes are getting better? I do think they're getting better. I am looking forward to seeing it next week. Even if Judith Light wasn't going to be in an episode, I am now invested in what's going to happen next. So thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. And hopefully I'll see you in the comment section.